Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we dig through all the corporate mumbo jumbo so you don't have to. Today we're diving into a Form 8K filing from Alignment Healthcare. Don't worry if that sounds boring, it's really about how a lawsuit was settled and how much it cost them. Think of it as corporate drama meets legal fees. Alright, let's get into it. Basically, there was a lawsuit involving Alignment Healthcare, but it was called off when the company changed an agreement with some of its big investors. The lawsuit was titled Maglione versus Konowicki and others. It was in the Delaware Court of Chancery. It was dismissed because the original issue was resolved, so there was nothing left to fight about in court. Even though the case was dismissed, the court was still involved to sort out the lawyer fees. These fees are what the company has to pay the lawyers for the person who brought the lawsuit against them. Alignment Healthcare decided to settle by paying $950,000 to cover the plaintiffs, the person who sued them, lawyer fees and expenses. Think of it as paying to make the whole thing go away. This amount was to cover everything, so the person who sued them wouldn't come back asking for more money related to this case. The court didn't decide if this amount was fair or not, it just let it happen. That means the court wasn't judging whether the payment was a good deal, it just acknowledged that the payment was made. In April of this year, the court officially closed the case. But Alignment Healthcare has to confirm with the court that they've made the settlement public, basically showing they've followed through on their agreement to let everyone know. The court wasn't asked to review if the fees were reasonable, they just wanted to finalize things. Okay, let's step back and look at the bigger picture here. This whole situation revolves around a lawsuit that became pointless because Alignment Healthcare changed something important in their agreements with some major investors. This change made the lawsuit unnecessary, so the court dismissed it. Even though the lawsuit was dismissed, there was still the issue of who would pay the legal fees. To avoid any more back and forth, Alignment Healthcare decided to pay the plaintiff's lawyers' fees. This is pretty common. Companies often choose to settle by covering these fees to prevent a potentially longer and more expensive legal battle. It's often cheaper than continuing to fight it in court. The court closing the case is basically the final stamp confirming that the matter is resolved, at least legally speaking. It doesn't necessarily mean that everything is perfect between the parties involved, but it does mean that the court is no longer involved. So what does this all mean for Alignment Healthcare? Well, on the one hand, they had to shell out almost $1 million in legal fees. That's not exactly pocket change. On the other hand, they've managed to put this legal issue behind them. This can be important for the company's image and can give investors more confidence. Going forward, it will be interesting to see how Alignment Healthcare manages its relationships with its investors. This case highlights the importance of making sure everyone is on the same page and that agreements are clear and fair to all parties involved. While it would have been better to not have the lawsuit to begin with, settling it and moving on might be the best thing for Alignment Healthcare in the long run. It allows them to focus on their business without the distraction and expense of ongoing litigation, which is a legal fight. Ultimately, this filing shows us how corporate disputes can be resolved, sometimes with a hefty price tag. It also reminds us that even when a case is dismissed, there can still be financial implications for the company involved. All in all, I think Alignment Healthcare is doing all right. Settling the lawsuit was probably a smart move to avoid more headaches. It's a bit of a financial hit, but it's better than having a long drawn-out court battle. The underlying issues with investor agreements need to be addressed to prevent similar situations in the future. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, please subscribe, like and comment.